There you go.
That's heavy rain to me. That right there would be the heaviest of rains.
I don't disagree with that. That would be the heaviest. And, we get some rain here. It's rained a lot lately.
Yes.
I'm not always happy about that, but the grass looks green. And I know Shark's complaining, but I had a nice weekend. It didn't rain where I live, so that's all that mattered.
It is 6:02 a.m., and Bobby agreed with me on one of my hot takes there, so thank you.
I don't know if that's a hot take.
I think a hot take say staring down the storm, and they'll call it heavy unless you have an arc. You look at the hot take?
I don't think that's a hot take. I think that
603 disagrees with me.
We've become fear panders and fear peddlers to the world, and that's what some people want to feel afraid, and they want to hear bad news. I choose to look at the opposite of life, the bright side of life, if you will, and all the good things that are out there in this world, and try to lean in on that.
How are you today, Bobby?
I'm doing well. I can't really complain. No one cares anyway, so.
No one cares. Of course people care. Your family cares if you don't feel. Do
you think my family actually cares if I don't feel well?
I think Courtney does.
No. Last night she was tired and went to bed, and I was like, hey, you going to stay awake till our daughter gets home? And she goes, I'm sorry, I only got 5 hours of sleep last night. And she goes, I know that's you every night. I was like, exactly, because someone's got to pay all the bills. So it doesn't matter. So that's just kind of what it is.
Cullen cares.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does, Bobby.
They say they do, but here's the thing. Don't say it. Your actions. Tell me where you spend your time and your dollars, and that's what I'll tell you care about. And so if they actually cared, they'd do what I told them to do and not force me to do more things and have to always constantly nag and harp. So, yeah, they may pay lip service to caring. They may care about the fact that they should care, but that's about where that chain breaks.
Hey, Shark. Good morning. How are you, UL? You okay over there?
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. That's your contribution.
The truth hurts, Shark. That's the reality that I've always come to in life.
All right, we got a big show lineup for you today. It's a Schleg's Day. It's a Rooster's Day,
Hopefully.
too.
He's flying. I'm not sure. I found out about his flight last night when we were trying to schedule our YouTube show, and I'm like, we usually do it sometime in the middle of the day. And he's like, yeah, I'm landing at 11:30. I was like, that would have been pertinent information if you would have told me that prior to now.
Landed at 11:30 yesterday morning?
No, today. Today he is. So I don't know what time he's taking off.
Oh, so we're not even sure on that one. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Bobby, make us smarter.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Oh, Bobby, this is the highlight of my day, Shark's Day, and many listeners' days. What do you got for us?
Well, what we have here
is a failure to communicate.
Good job, sir.
What's that from?
Major Pain, maybe? What we have here is a failure.
I think it's is it Butch Cassidy and Sundance
Maybe
Kid?
that's what it is. It's been said a couple different times.
Good movie? Have you guys both seen it?
It's been a while.
But you have seen it.
Butch Cassidy?
Yeah, Butch Cassidy.
25 times I've seen it.
You've seen that's what Newman and Redford.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know I've seen it. I've only seen probably a couple. My dad, like I said, my dad loves all old school movies like that. So I've seen it. I just couldn't. It's been a long time. I was probably Caleb's age when I saw it.
The Ohio Theater does a thing every summer where they show older movies on a big screen in the Ohio Theater.
Yeah.
And this year, one of the ones they have in the series is that one. They're going to play it a couple of times on there.
You haven't seen it?
I have not seen it, no.
Go see it.
Go see it.
I'll pay for you to go see it.
You will.
It's a great movie.
I'll be able to track you down after July 1st.
I'm going to Venmo you $5, $8, $20, whatever it costs to see it.
It's $45 a ticket. Yeah. So I want to take Heather, so just send me $90.
There you go.
All right, Bobby.
I think you ought to take me.
That would be nice.
35.
Let's leave a seat between us, though.
Schlegel would still sit in that seat.
How about some popcorn?
It is June 17th, 168th day of the year, 197 remaining in this 2025. This date, 1775. Colonists inflict heavy casualties on the British forces at the Battle of Bunker Hill, getting the Revolutionary War kicked off. This date, 1885. The Statue of Liberty arrives in New York Harbor. Sent over by the French. Some people said they wanted it back. Terrible.
They did not fly it over on the Concorde.
They did not. That is accurate. I think they brought it over on the Channel. The state, 1901. The College Board introduces its first standardized testing, the precursor to the SAT. 1939, the last public guillotining happened in France at the Versailles prison. It's unfortunate that it's been close to 100 years now. I mean, I feel like the guillotine, that's a very humane way to go. It's quick. Seems rather painless. I have to ask somebody afterward. This day, 1960, Ted Williams hits his 500th home run. And then on this date, 1962, a mere 2 years later, the Golden Bear shoots a .283 at the 62nd U.S. Open for his first major victory.
It was supposed to be the king's latest conquest, but a bear captured the crown. 1962 U.S. Open, Jack's first major. At Oakmont Country Club, it was a rivalry-defining battle between the undisputed king of golf, Arnold Palmer, and the sport's promising young rookie, Jack Nicklaus, held just outside of Palmer's hometown of Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
I happened to be the guy that came along and dethroned Arnold.
We knew then that Jack was going to be a good player or a great player. We just didn't know how great.
We just didn't know how great.
By the
Well,
way, Bob,
yeah.
this on the YouTube chat. Chad said it was Cool Hand Luke, not Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. It was another Newman movie. What we have here is a failure to communicate.
Okay, all right.
Did you ever see Cool Hand Luke?
I've seen them all. My
Okay.
dad watched them all.
He ate like, I don't know what it was, 68 hard-boiled eggs
Yeah.
in one sitting.
Was that a cowboy movie? Cool Hand Luke?
No, prison movie.
Shark's favorite. It's aspirational goals for retirement, he said.
I like prison movies. I liked The Green Mile a lot.
The Green Mile's really good.
I liked Escape from Alcatraz. Oh, Shawshank.
Shawshank's on Kappa
The
too. It's on
best.
the Ohio Theater. They're going to play it out there. Shawshank. That's another one.
That's kind of the.
Because you can't see it on TV. It's never on.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good one there. It's what else? Where are we at here? Oh, this day, 1977. Steve Winwood releases his first album, and it's self-titled as well.
Hold on to me when you're falling down. Hold on to me when you're falling down to the ground.
There were only like 6 or 7 songs on that album. None of them charted, but this one right there, Hold On, was a single. Never heard it.
So no commercial success
No.
off of his first one.
He didn't get it was like mid '80s when he had his
That's
this.
what when they said
Ark of a
77.
Diver. Remember the Ark of a Diver?
I don't remember
that
that
album.
No,
There
is
we
that
go.
the? Was
Well,
that the
you
one?
see a chance,
Take it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, remember the song?
That's
Yeah.
Ark of the Diver.
Yeah.
He named it wrong. They should have named it that.
All
When you
right.
see a chance or something like that, then we'd know what it is.
This date, 1978, Shadow Dancing by Andy Gibb hits number 1.
I Just Want to Be Your Everything is my favorite Andy Gibb song.
There we go.
Not a member of the Bee Gees.
R.I.P. Only one Gibb boy left.
Barry's the only one left.
The twins died, and
And Barry's the oldest, I believe.
yes, I believe he's also, yeah.
I don't know who any of those people are.
You don't know who the Bee Gees are?
I know who the Bee Gees are. I don't know who the Gibbs are. The Gibbs the Bee Gees?
Yeah,
then?
it's the Gibbs
The
then, yeah.
Brothers Gibb.
Brothers Gibb. That's why they're called the Bee
BG.
Gees.
Okay. Now,
Robin, Maurice, and Barry.
you learn something
Is
new
it
every
Maurice or
day.
is it Moore? I thought it was pronounced Morris.
Okay.
I think it might have been.
It's spelled Maurice.
I know it is, yeah.
Some people call me Maurice.
Yeah, some people call me the gangster of love.
This day, 1994, 31 years ago today, the day after his birthday, Al Collins hops in that white Bronco and drives OJ to freedom.
Okay, I'm going to have to interrupt this call. I understand we're going to go to a live picture in Los Angeles. This is Interstate 5, and this is courtesy of KCALR, one of our LA affiliates. Police believe that O.J. Simpson is in that car. They believe that this vehicle is registered to Al Cowlings, one of O.J.'s oldest friends, a teammate at Southern Cal, and police are trailing. Obviously, the car is not exceeding the speed limit. The California Highway Patrol has another helicopter, could be a police helicopter, is trailing it. They're going south through Orange County, but nobody is pulling this car over.
It's the start of the low-speed chase, Shark.
Yeah, I don't get, why wouldn't you just blockade?
It's amazing that they just followed him, had the whole highway shut down,
60 miles they followed.
But like, why though? Why? Okay, what had you pull him over?
I don't.
What would you pull him over
He
for?
had a gun to his head. Maybe they were afraid he was going to shoot himself. But
Okay.
I say, okay.
Okay,
go
that's
for it.
what I'm saying. I'm okay if that's the
If it
result.
was you or me,
Yes.
yeah, they'd have pulled us over.
No doubt.
But you're not the juice.
But I'm not the juice.
What a
I'm
bizarre
on morning juice.
Did you guys both watch that live? It was
Oh,
going on.
yeah.
during the basketball game.
Yeah, during that
kept
Rockets Knicks
cutting
game.
in. Yes, during the NBA championship.
That
It
was
ridiculous.
seeing that on the split screen. You had Olajuwon and Ewing on one screen, and then
Juice and Callings on the other.
slowest road race ever.
I thought we were going to see a suicide.
I thought
on
so,
live
too, yeah.
TV.
Yeah, and then he get the most anticlimactic thing ever. They pull in, they get out of the car, they come up like, give me a shootout or something.
Right.
Come on, Butch Cassidy. Let's go.
Do you think if OJ had offed himself in that moment?
Oh, my gosh.
No, wait. Do you think he would still be found innocent of killing himself? Because it sounds like he probably could have gotten off on that one, too.
Okay. This date, 1997, Floored by Sugar Ray is released, including their big hit, Fly. All right, here we go. Some events today. This date, birthdays. This date, 1903. Ruth Graves Wakefield is born. Who is that? Well, she invented the chocolate chip cookie.
Nice.
How about that? It's hard to believe that they didn't get chocolate chips into cookies
Yeah.
until 1903. My gosh, my writing got so bad. I wish this is terrible. I'm going to have to pull this up. Give me a second here. Bobby Bell turning 85 today. The Hall of Famer for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Bobby Bell was also the Chiefs' long snapper and contributed everywhere on the field.
One time in '69, the Broncos tried an onside kickoff, and instead of just falling on the ball, Bell catches it and runs 50 yards the other way for a touchdown. Hank Stram said that Bobby Bell was the only player he'd ever had who could play any position on the football field, and you could still win with him.
The Chiefs' defense led them to victory in Super Bowl IV.
It's fitting and appropriate that of all those Chiefs greats, Bobby Bell was the first Chiefs player inducted into the Hall of Fame. Nobody played linebacker like Bobby Bell did.
One of the great ones. And Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch, born on this date, 1923, played at Wisconsin and Michigan, longtime LA Ram, Hall of Famer as well, as we just mentioned, Bobby Bell. Bobby Bell, you know where he went to college, Shark?
Bobby Bell. No, I don't.
Nebraska.
No, Big Ten school.
Big Ten.
At the
Nebraska's Big Ten school.
when he was there.
Minnesota.
There you go. Minnesota Golden Gophers. Don't you know? Newt Gingrich turning 82 today, the 50th Speaker of the U.S. House of Reps. Barry Manilow, same birthday, turning 82 as well.
How happy you made me, oh man. Well, you came and you gave without taking.
I can't wait to hear what you have from this next guy, turning 62 today, actor Greg Kinnear.
I had done a little acting in high school. I started as a drama major at college at the University of Arizona, and then realized I'm never getting a job as an actor. What am I doing?
And then caught the eye of director Sidney Pollack, who cast him in his first big film role in the remake of Sabrina. Then it got as good as it gets, an audition at Jack Nicholson's house.
He asked me afterwards if I wanted to stick around and have some spaghetti and meatballs. So I figured it had gone okay, and either way, I was going to get a nice meal out of it, and a couple of days later, I found out I got the role.
Some spaghetti and meat. That is remarkable. By the way, who has an audition at their house, at someone else's house?
I guess when you're Jack, that's how you do it.
You get to get it done. That's
Jack
as good
was-
as it gets. Is a very underrated movie.
Yes, it is. Jack was very abusive to Greg Kinnear in that movie.
He was very convincing as well. Like his character is phenomenal. Dan Jansen, the speed skater, turning the big 60 today.
Getting ready for his 1,000-meter race, Dan Jansen, now or never for an Olympic medal. Both these skaters are technically very good. They should get off and probably have one of the fastest 200-meter split times.
He should be under 17 seconds to really have a shot in this race. And he is. Jansen at 16:71. Dan Jansen looks good to be in the lead. Here is Dan Jansen, and he crosses it. 1:12.43, and he's in first place.
I remember watching that race after they showed all of his falls and just everything. It was his last Olympic race. You remember? Did you see that off?
No,
No,
Bobby.
of course you didn't.
No, Bobby, listen.
Why would you watch the Olympics with an American speed skater in them?
I'm a highlights guy.
That is the highlight.
That was a pretty big
I
highlight.
understand that, but I'm so
By the
I'll
way,
catch it in
it took
Sports
a
Center.
minute. It took a minute. It wasn't like it's a marathon.
But he had been favored in so many races.
He had the world
in,
records.
Was it 3 different Olympics?
Yes.
And he'd fall. He'd crash. Something would happen. And he finally got his gold medal. And remember, the wife is there and she's crying and the sister was sick and all that. And then, a year or two later, he and his wife got divorced.
They did?
Found out he's kind of a bad dude.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I read up on it because I had this.
I think he had an affair.
Yes, I had this idealistic image in my head of him, because it was him and Bonnie Blair, and Bonnie Blair always won, and he was the male counterpart and never did. And he had the world records, but he never could get it done at the Olympics. And he was actually better in the 5 than in the 1,000 or 5,000, the 10,000, whatever.
Right,
the distance.
5,000, 10,000, yeah.
He was better in that, and he screwed up the 5, and the 10 was the last one. And I don't even think he was the favorite for that. But put together his final race, gets the gold, and there you heard it. It was tremendous. I was probably 7 or 8 years old.
I would say what year was
that?
94, Lillehammer?
Lillehammer, yeah.
Yeah,
That's when they
94.
first started going to the 2-year thing.
That was when there was a 2-year split.
Albertville was in 92, and then Lillehammer.
Albert, the T was silent?
Yes.
I've been calling it Albertville all these years. I've been
France, Albertville.
There you go. Some other birthdays today. Mark Tauscher, longtime Packers tackle, Wisconsin Badger, turning 48. And Venus Williams turning 45 today.
Venus became the first black ladies singles champion since Althea Gibson in 1958, and the first black player to capture the title since Arthur Ashe in 1975.
You know, it's strange because I go to bed at night and I dream that I won a Grand Slam, and when I wake up, it's a nightmare. So now that I've done it, I don't have to wake up like that anymore.
It feels like their father, the Williams father, had a lot of things in common, like with Marinovich's dad, but his kids though didn't have that fall that obviously Marinovich did. I'm saying it's like usually child actors, whatever. All these people get this success when they're very young. Sometimes flame out. The Williams have not, though. They've been
the best.
They had a great,
I mean, they're in the conversation for the greats of all time. I mean, every kid is different, but their dad was unrelenting. It's the same thing with Tiger. He had a lot of success. His dad was unrelenting on him.
Yep.
I mean, and it's interesting the relationship those kids have with those people have with their parents later in life, and how that works. And I've always kind of found it interesting. It's funny that you brought that up, just with how hard he drove them and their opportunities. But two of the best women's players of all time.
Did you ever, I should say, have you ever?
Do I ever aspire to be King Williams?
No. Do you ever
I want to be drunk at the All England Club yelling for my kid who would win the championship. That'd be amazing.
Have you ever felt like I'm getting to be like that? Like, have you ever said, I think I'm pushing my kid too hard in this, or I'm pushing my kid too much in this sport?
I don't push anything. I just have standards and expectations.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Like, obviously, I think they were I don't say maniacal. That sounds almost like crazy, but I think that they had those fathers, those parents had a certain drive to make sure their kid was the best they could be. Same thing with Tiger when he's out there at 3 years old putting on the Bob Hope show or whatever. I didn't know, as a parent, have you ever felt like either I'm getting to be too much like that, or I've got to back off on things like that, or is it just do you feel like you've got the right? The right formula. The right mix on that.
I believe that my job is to make sure my kids are reach their full potential in life.
Right.
My job is not to be their friend.
Okay.
So if they want to be the first to get the shovels out when I'm in the ground and pour the dirt on me, I don't care.
Going morbid, Bobby.
That's not morbid. I don't care. Like, if they want to hate me as they get older, that's fine. But they'll at least respect themselves. And we have just here's the thing. Like, standards are for people with discipline. Like, as long as these are the standards, this is how you get there. and go do it. And I would never ask my kids to do anything I wouldn't do or haven't done in the past. So I let them know that. And I think we have a pretty good relationship. Not all the time, because your job isn't to be their friend. They've got plenty of friends, and I've got plenty of friends, and I don't need any young kids to be my friends. But you know what? Everybody looks at it a little differently, and they can call me an unrelenting a-hole sometimes. Some holidays observances. It's Eat All Your Veggies Day, speaking of which, as well. It is Stewart's Root Beer Day, World Crock Day as well, and those are your historical events. Your birthdays, your passings, and your holidays observances. For this date, June 17th, the 168th day of the year, 197 days remaining this 2025.
Well done, General. Either of you guys own Crocs?
No, I don't.
Are you talking about a crock pot?
I'm not.
Crocs shoes. Have you ever worn a pair of Crocs?
No.
Do you look down on people that I've never worn?
My mom
either.
wears them all the time. She broke her foot in them. I told her that's what she gets.
I'm sorry. Who broke her foot?
My mom. This
Your mom
was like
did?
10 years ago.
I think they're okay for kids. I'm not a big fan of seeing a 54-year-old man.
I'm not wearing Crocs.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I've never owned a pair.
Or sandals. Why wear Crocs?
How would you look down if you see an adult wearing socks with Crocs?
Yeah, socks with sandals, socks with Crocs.
Sounds like a Dr. Seuss question. I know,
that's
but
the worst.
I know.
And wearing a three-piece suit.
I'm just saying, if I see an adult wearing Crocs, I don't care. You have reason to hate me on the chat anyway. But if I see you wearing Crocs and you're over the age of 30, I'm going to think less of
If
you.
you're wearing Crocs or any type of sandal with a sock, it's a bad look.
I'm okay with slides with socks sometimes.
Why?
Like if I'm in a hurry to go do something and I've got my socks on already.
Why would you have your socks on if you're going to wear slides?
No, I'm saying like I get home, take my shoes off. I got my socks on still.
Right.
Okay, I'm working whatever. Charlotte needs a ride to a friend's house. I'll just maybe put the slides on, drive down the street.
Why do you own a pair of slides?
Like shower stuff. I wear them usually. I wear them in the shower like in Vegas.
In Vegas, what showers are you getting in Vegas that you would need to wear?
We're not going to talk about that right now, Bobby. No, I'm just saying,
some sort of group
like showers,
shower?
like swimming pools.
Guys would wear
wait, I went swimming pools.
Slides. The only time I ever wore slides was getting in the shower in the NFL, and I didn't even do that very often.
Slides on right now.
You wear slides. I know. You're
hold
famous.
them up to the camera.
That's the same. Those are Adidas?
Yeah.
That's the same pair. I've got that same exact pair.
Rothman calls them shower shoes.
That's what a lot of guys call them, shower shoes.
Shark.
Wear them to the pool?
Shower shoes. Yeah, wear them to the pool.
Right. So I'm saying, like, Bobby, if that's the case, like, I need to take my kid here, and we're in the community we live in. It's like a 3-minute drive.
I wear sandals, and I would not have socks on.
So would you take your socks off, put the sandals on?
Yeah, because I don't put socks on until I put my shoes on.
So when you take your shoes off, do your socks automatically come off? When you take your shoes off, no. So you might walk around the house with socks on.
But I'm not going to put socks with sandals on.
Even no one's going to see you. You're just in the car
I
dropping
care.
someone
It
off.
feels uncomfortable because I don't wear slides because slides are for showers. And I don't shower in large showers anymore. And even
because if you wear the socks with the sandal's got a toe in it.
Well, the slide, though, I would.
But the slide, like, I'll do that if I'm running out to the mailbox or something.
When I was a kid,
I wouldn't go to the grocery store.
I have a pair of Uggs. We call them house slippers that I'll wear. That I have those.
And you wear them out sometimes also.
Not out.
No, I'm not saying not on a date. I'm saying like, if you got to do a quick errand, you won't wear them to drop a kid off. You're not getting out of the car. You won't.
I may do that, but those are a closed toe.
Okay.
Those are a closed toe.
Are they fur lined?
Fur lined.
Nice
slipper.
What did you guys call sandals as a kid? Did you call them sandals?
Yeah,
or like the flip flops? What did you call flip flops?
Flip flops. Yeah. Sandals. Flip
Somehow
flops.
I got in the mode like with our family, we called them thongs.
That's what my mom used to call them those.
And that had a much different meaning.
Now
when I got older.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to Cisco.
Are you wearing
song about that?
Are you wearing a thong now?
No, I got tennis shoes on.
Okay.
Coming up next, major change potentially here in the portal. We'll do that. This is Morning Juice.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit OutdoorStewards.org.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Tito has had 2 wives. They've both been named Heather. If you know someone named Heather, please warn her. This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Tuesday. Like we always do at this time at 6:29.
Sometime around here, but when you hear the sound, you know what it means. Pavlov's dog is in the house, and Rooster's onion feathers are going to be the featured appetizer today. And what does that mean for you? Well, that featured appetizer on June 17th is going to be $3 all day long. Battered onion petals, fried golden brown, served with a side of plucking sauce. They're delicious. They're tasty. They're the favorite of Caleb Carpenter, my youngest son. And now if you wait around for, 40 minutes to an hour, we're going to be giving away a gift $50 Roosters gift card later in the show. A chance for you to win and go get some of those aforementioned Roosters onion feathers that are tasty and delicious.
That's good stuff. I dip them in ketchup.
That's gross.
No, it's not gross. I dip them in
You
ketchup.
dip your onion rings in ketchup.
I
onion
do.
Feathers. Why?
Rather than plucking sauce?
I do the plucking sauce, which I'm saying also
Man,
ketchup,
that's
though.
so good. Now, last week I went to Roosters on Tuesday, and I got the $3 potato wedges smothered, and it was a little too much. I'm not going to besmirch Roosters because I love their potato wedges, but the bacon and cheese was a little much for me. But I do love the onion feathers.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I would think that we should get them to bring it in every Tuesday. Something, whatever the appetizer is, Bobby, we can be eating it while talking about it. I think
As
that'd be the sale.
Nicole delivers them.
Yeah, well, she smells good. I'm not going to be eating food at 6 o'clock in the morning on air.
You don't.
There's shows for that. This isn't that show.
I understand.
It's breakfast, Bob.
It's not.
It's morning juice breakfast. When,
but I just
when we
think
get
that
up
would
at
enhance.
3 or 4 o'clock, it's about
lunch.
that time.
I would think Bobby would enhance the read. If you could have,
I've had all of those. I eat
know.
them regularly. I know exactly. I can describe them to you without the descriptions that are written.
But it used to be when they would do live ads when television way back when you'd see somebody
era.
smoking a
Schlitz
cigarette,
beer,
drinking a beer, whatever it is, eating the Wheaties.
Right.
They would do all that stuff on the air because why? It would enhance the read. It would enhance the product. If we could see you enjoying onion petals,
Natural product enhancement.
yes. If we could see.
I mean, the cigarette ads were the best. It'd be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you're
Red
feeling
Barber.
a little sluggish or
Right.
something. Light up a Chesterfield. No filter. It goes
That
right
sounds
to
great.
your lungs.
Or when Jerry Mathers did it when he was 13 years old, promoting Leave It to Beaver. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, last night, by the way, the Oklahoma City Thunder beat Indiana 120-109. OKC leads that series 3-2. Game 6 Thursday.
Tightened it up there in the fourth, and then they just couldn't punch it through, man.
Edmonton, Florida tonight at 8 o'clock. Florida leads that series 3-2, trying to close that one out. Are you rooting? I ask you this every time, and I forget your answer. Are you rooting for Bob and Seth Jones to get a title?
I'm rooting against Canada.
Against Canada.
So there you go. There's your answer.
Are you rooting for?
You know what? I'm rooting for the end of the season. I remember when hockey used to be a winter sport. It's June 17th.
And it might not even be done yet.
Might not be done. We might have to go to the 20th.
Reds host Minnesota tonight at 7:10. Guards are in San Francisco tonight at 9:45. What else have we got? Those are the big stories there on that. But I wanted to get into this thing, Bobby, about you and I.
Did you watch any of those games last night?
Did I know?
None of the finals of the
There's
NBA.
only one in the NBA. I didn't watch the NBA finals at all. I was on the pillow at around, I think about 9 o'clock when I went to the pillow, but I didn't. I was doing that sounds like a very, by the way, bad comment to say, and I expected Bobby to make some kind of comment about that. It would be on the pillow at 9 o'clock. But I was finishing up show prep and then went to bed at 9, so I did not see any of that game last night.
I watched the Angels and Yankees, the Pacers and Thunder.
How did Shohei look in his?
And then I watched
debut?
Shohei.
Yeah, Dodgers Padres.
Pitched an inning.
Gave up a run.
Gave up a run.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that. I caught the highlights.
Arm didn't fall off. Amazing.
That's good. Did he get hurt? Did he die?
Threw 100 miles an hour.
There you go.
Hadn't pitched in almost 2 years.
He's well rested.
Yes,
You know, okay, now listen. I thought about this last night.
Oh, here we go.
No, wait. No, I was I ripped. Let's say ripped. I was ripped yesterday for saying they shouldn't pitch him.
Yes.
By you guys, right?
Deservedly show.
Either way.
Deservedly
Shohei.
Shohei.
Yes. But can you at least understand that if all you could pitch is an inning, if that's all you could pitch, and you're supposed to be a starting pitcher, doesn't that mean you're bringing him back too soon?
No, it's called easing him into it.
Yeah, I think normally a guy who hasn't pitched in nearly 2 years and he's rehabbing and he hasn't pitched in spring training,
right?
You'd send him to AAA or
Do
AA.
a couple of rehab starts, whatever.
Absolutely, but they can't. This is a unique situation. They don't want to lose his bat in the lineup, so he has to basically rehab and go through spring training at the major league level. And so you start at 1 inning, and next time out he'll go 2, and then build up. Tito, I'm not sure what your solution is.
Well, all I'm saying
wait till the end of the season.
No. When he can pitch more than 1 inning, bring him out there.
Okay, you work your way into that.
Okay.
So how does he do that then?
All right. Well, listen.
Because like Shark's point, you're not going to take one of the best bats in Major League Baseball and put him in AAA.
No way.
Or
I totally
AA
get that. No, I
and
get
have
that.
him work his way back up to pitch.
I get that. It's but if someone goes on a rehab assignment, typically, okay, let's say I'm trying to think of a pitcher that we're going on a rehab assignment. Let's say it's Justin Verlander. They say, okay, you're coming back from this injury. You're going to go down and pitch a couple games in the minors. They never go just 1 inning. They usually go, even when they start a rehab assignment, he pitched 3 innings last night in AAA Scranton, whatever.
Yeah.
Or he pitched 2 innings, whatever it is. But I'm saying it's never like, you know what, he's going to go 1, maybe a little more than 1. But like I'm saying, I wouldn't think you're ready for rehab until you can go like 3.
Well, I think part of the problem last night was he threw 28 pitches.
In 1 inning, yeah.
And had he gone, 14 pitches, they would have put him out there for the second inning. But Tito, he hasn't pitched since September of 23.
Right.
It wasn't Justin Verlander coming off the 15-day injured list.
Right. It's been a long time. I agree. But I'm saying if all you can go is 1 inning, I don't think you're ready.
Good news. Dr. Thedoff is in the house.
Listen to me. I've
Hey,
seen.
whenever you need to get your heart checked, he can do that too for you, Shark.
I've seen ER. Okay. I know some stuff about medicals.
That's good.
I'm just saying, though, that's the part, I guess, that maybe gave me pause. And I realized this last night at around 7:45 is when this dawned on me. What a great argument we had yesterday.
So you're doubling down.
What I'm doing is I'm continuing the argument right now.
Trying to prove your point.
If you can't go more than 1 inning, you're not ready to pitch. If you can't go more than one, you're going to ramp him up to 3 innings? Great. Put him out there for a 3-inning stint then to say he can go up to 3 innings or he can go up to 70 pitches, whatever it is. But if all you can go is 28 pitches, then I think you're not ready.
How about that transfer portal, though?
No, we're not going to do it now because now we're too close up against the break, and I like to stay on time. You know that about me, Shark. So we're going to put a pin in that, and we will talk about it in the 7 o'clock hour. Coming up next, though, we will hit you with some quick hitters. Morning Juice.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm the Innovation Ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook: read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
Tito invited the new Russian family who moved in down the street to watch Rocky IV. It did not go well. I must break you. This is Morning Juice.
It's Morning Juice. Shark, mics were off, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. That's important. Morning Juice here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you in the chat as well. Why don't we hit you quickly?
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
Good morning, Shark.
Oh, good morning, boys. It was a big, big night at the College World Series in Omaha, downtown Omaha. Do they still play at Rosenblatt? Or is that the old stadium?
That's the old. I think they built a new one.
Didn't rename it Rosenblatt?
I don't think so.
All right.
I should
Anyway,
know that because I've watched a number of these games.
I have not. I have not watched 5 minutes of the College World Series. I don't know why not, but
Dude,
anyway.
Arkansas dude pitched a no-hitter yesterday.
That's where I'm going, Bob. That's where I'm going. Arkansas's Gage Wood pitched a no-hitter.
What a name, by the way. You think he's related to Kerry?
Woods. No, it's Kerry Woods. It's Kerry Woods.
No,
this is Gage Wood. This was singular.
Maybe as you get better, you get an S.
Get the S.
He's Tiger Wood.
Something like Jeff Thidoff's
brother. Anyway, he struck out a record 19 batters in a 3-0 win over Murray State. It is the third no-hitter in College World Series history. and the first since 1960. That was the year I was born. The Razorbacks stay alive for another elimination game tonight while Murray State goes home. Tito would have had a perfect game, except he hit a batter in the 8th inning.
I think he hit 2 batters.
I think it was
he
an
hit
error.
one in the 9th.
Yeah.
Was there an error also?
But they said that the guy leaned into it, and they changed the call.
Oh, really?
Called him out, yeah.
I think there was an error also. I think there was an error in the game also.
After the 8th.
Look, Shark,
Because
again, I'm a highlight guy.
I know
looked
he
at the box
lost his
score.
perfect game in the 8th.
Yeah, I think there was an error somewhere in there as well. But I was kind of surprised there hasn't been one in 65 years.
At that level.
Yeah, no hitters we see, in Major League Baseball, it's a huge deal now because it means you pitch 9 innings. So it doesn't happen anymore. But for a while there, it seemed like there'd be 2-3 no hitters a year in Major League Baseball, and to have not one for 65 years in the College World Series, a very cool accomplishment against Murray State in that one. I really wish though, Bobby.
Let's hear it. Here it comes.
That they would not allow aluminum bats in college baseball.
Why?
I wish it all would, because I think that it gives you a false representation of the players. Because when you cross that, look, there's some college teams that are as good as rookie level teams in the lower levels of minor league baseball. I think that it'd be the equivalent of playing with like a smaller basketball in college and you play in the NBA, and things like that. I think it's more real baseball if you play with the wood bats. I don't like the little bats at any level. You can play at softball if you're in a 40 and over softball league here, playing at a beer league or something.
Why they use aluminum bats?
I think it's cheaper. It's money.
Yes. It's when the wood bats splinter and break, and so you have to get new ones. I'd asked that because why don't everybody just play with wood bats? And that is the reasoning, and so they do it. I don't care. It's a uniform rule. You get to the major leagues, and you have to use aluminum or use wood, and it's outlawed, and that's just what it is.
But you'll see guys who bat like 400 with 38 home runs in their college career or whatever.
You see guys that are great college quarterbacks that can't play in the NFL, too.
But it's not because of the size of the ball. It's not because of
the hash marks are wider. There's differences.
Hash marks are a
in the
little wider. The field I get. The field I understand. I'm with you on that. I know the field changes a little bit, but not the equipment, right? I mean, is there any other sport where the equipment is that much different at the amateur level than at the professional level?
The ball is different in the NFL from college.
It's
you
a little
realize
bit.
That.
Yeah, I do. I know it's a little bit
There's
different.
no stripes and it's thinner.
It's slightly thinner, right? But
I've touched them both. I'm just telling you what it is.
I'm not sure you have. I don't think you touched a college football.
Sometimes they let the air out of the ball in the
I've heard
NFL.
that also. Is the football that much different between college and NFL?
Yeah. I mean, it takes a minute to get used to. I remember working in the combine because we were working for the combine and draft and pro day and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it took a minute to get used to being. That was just for somebody who touches the ball at a minimal level. So yeah, there are differences there that you have to get used to with it.
Would you prefer do you think it'd be better to have the NFL and the college ball be the same ball?
I don't think it matters. I think it's just a thing.
Okay.
Like you just go and you transition. I understand the bat point, and when someone made the cost point to me, I'm like, all right, that sounds like it makes sense. I know colleges are probably different than like little league teams and high school teams, but they use that. They come into college. It's easier, I think, to transition from college to the major leagues going aluminum to wood than it would be from high school to college.
I think some college teams use Nerf balls, but that's different too.
I would like to see the hash marks moved in like the NFL in college.
Yeah, I think I would too. Yeah.
I don't like it when we run to the short side of the field.
You love short side of the field zones.
Yeah. Like to run downhill, Bob.
There you go. Well, they used to have the crown on it, so when you'd run to the outside, you were running downhill.
They did. In college football, speaking of which, quarterback Jake Garcia started his career at Miami, played 2 seasons for the Hurricanes, and then he transferred to Missouri, but did not play.
Is it Missouri or Missouri?
Missouri. In 2023, he sat out. Then he transferred to East Carolina, played for the Pirates last season. And now Garcia is transferring again. This will be his 4th school in 5 years, and this time he is going to Michigan, Bobby, where he will presumably back up freshman starter Bryce Underwood.
There you go. I mean, this is the story now of college football, right? It's like Gulliver's Travels. It's like the Iliad, the Odyssey, just gallivanting around. No affiliation to any programs. I guess trying to be on a winning team or maybe someplace that'll pay you the most. I don't know. Like that doesn't. I don't look at that as a aspirational goal. If I was in school to go to these different places, but you get caught in that portal and you start moving around, and then that just becomes your pathway now, and it stinks, but that's what it is.
I'm surprised Michigan took this long to add a quarterback through the point. I would just because. Their quarterback last year, Davis Warren, he had the torn ACL. He had the bowl game, so you knew that he was going to be limited anyway at this point. Fresno State's Mikey Keene came in. He missed all of spring practice, though, due to a shoulder injury. God, up there in Ann Arbor. So you're putting a lot of heat on your freshman quarterback, Bryce Underwood, to take the reins right away. And I don't know if it's...
See what the reins he looks like are taking after they get these sanctions or whatever they're going to do.
I wonder, but Bobby, I try to think, am I being biased against Michigan, thinking that there's no way this Bryce Underwood could be that good as a freshman?
Well, maybe he won't be great, but he might be good enough for them to be good. Like, they'll probably have flashes. He's going to also have some plays where he makes freshman mistakes.
Right.
That's what happens with freshmen. Play young guys, like they'll do some great things, they'll learn and grow, but growth can be a painful process.
I was trying to think though, like how I would feel if Ohio State went into this season. I know Sayans doesn't have a lot of experience, but he's got some time in the program. He's got, after being in the program last year and now this year coming on. But I said, well, let's see, how would I feel? How would I analyze this if Tavion St. Clair, who may be have a great career, but if right now he was the presumed starter for Ohio State, how would I feel about the prospects of the season? And I think it's the same way I'd feel if I was...
Yeah, there's going to be some good, but we're probably going to struggle. There'll be some plays that he makes that you're like, that's amazing. And then there's some that's like, you're like biting your lip like that's not a good thing. And he's going to do some stuff that'll make you pull your hair out. That's what freshmen do. I watched Tavion St. Clair, like, throw some great balls in practice. And you're like, yep. Then that next one, you're like, yep. You didn't see that guy.
And spring game, too. Couple interceptions, then look great at the end.
Like, and that's how it is. Like, that's part of growing and experience. Everyone wants experience, but it's a painful process.
So, yeah, they did that. I feel like Day has done a good job in Ohio State of making sure they've got proper veteran quarterback depth, every year. They always add somebody, it seems like, if they get, like, they got 4 quarterbacks, got a stable of quarterbacks this year you can rely on. Looks like Michigan had to make that move. We'll find out a lot about Bryce Underwood when he plays in Norman, Oklahoma. I think it's week 3 or week 2 is when they're playing against Oklahoma on the road.
For 150 years, schools, coaches had all the control.
Right.
Players didn't. Yeah. Players could transfer, but you had to sit out a year.
And sometimes you couldn't even transfer your own conference.
Right. Or
in the Big Ten, you couldn't get a scholarship.
Yeah, you couldn't get a scholarship if you transferred within the Big Ten. But now we've swung so far the other way that the player has all the power. I'm not starting as a freshman. I'm out of here.
Right.
Do you think
that's good? No.
Do you think we should have a limit on how many times you can transfer?
Yeah. I said I give you one free one after 2 seasons, and then after that you got to sit out for a year.
After 2 seasons?
Yeah, because you should have to stick
unless
somewhere.
Maybe there's a coaching change.
Coaching change. There should be normal stuff that happens. Coaching change, I get if you want to leave, but if you commit somewhere and nothing has changed over 2 years, you committed there for a reason. You should have at least ride that reason out, learn a little bit, grow a little bit, and after that second year, if you still want to leave, second season, if you will, and you want to leave, so you're basically there a year and a half, then you can choose to pull ripcord and go anywhere you want.
When you say coaching change, though,
head coach.
So you're saying if my coordinator,
head coach, that's it.
I would say head coach.
Head coach, that's it.
Really? So if Hartline recruits me to be a receiver,
that's all part of it.
And then Hartline,
head coach, that's it.
But I commit to Ohio State because I'm saying
if you committed there because of an assistant coach. My dad said if you commit because of a head coach, that's.
Right.
Those guys can change.
But then Hartline goes to Florida State to become the head coach. I can't follow my coordinator there that I had this great bond with.
Head coach, that's it. You can. You have to sit out for a year.
Okay. The players do have all the power, though, Shark. Yeah, you're right. They've got it all now.
We are just 2.5 weeks away from the 4th of July, also known as Independence Day. And that great tradition, Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest, is back.
Sliding those glizzies down your gullet.
Also back, competitive eating legend
Yes.
Joey Chestnut. He missed last year's event because of a dispute with Major League Eating. We call that the MLE, over his sponsorship deal with Impossible Foods, a company that makes plant-based hot dogs. No meat in there. Chestnut is a 16-time champion at Coney Island and tweeted yesterday that he's thrilled to be back. Quote, "This event means the world to me." Tito, is that something that you will watch on the 4th?
I cannot. I cannot watch that.
I have never watched it live.
Really?
I've seen highlights, but I've never watched that thing live. I usually forget that it's on the 4th of July because it's a day off work, but I really have no interest in watching competitive eating. I like to eat, not competitively.
We've heard Joey Chestnut's name for years. Do either of you have any idea how old he is?
Oh, I'm guessing early, mid-40s.
Well, I mean, the fact that he's won this thing 16 times and he was beaten plenty of times by, what's his name?
Yep.
The Asian guy.
That's the guy.
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi. He must be 50.
He's 41.
Oh.
I thought he was closer to 50 also. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, he got in the game early.
I guess.
They call it a young man's game. The eating game.
I cannot
engorge yourself.
You don't see many obese guys doing that.
Yeah, because it's not, the heavier you are, the less room you have in your stomach. Like those guys, you don't want a lot of fat to clog up the spacing. Those guys have stretched their stomach out. My question is, it's like, dude, you would have to stretch your stomach. You'd be hungry all the time. And, yeah. So, Buckeyes.
No, I'm saying when you see heavier people in pie eating contests, right? Is that more their style? If you have a pie, like first one to finish one pie.
I don't know. There's less nitrates in the pies.
Man, I couldn't eat a lot of pie. I couldn't eat a lot of hot dogs, especially when you dip them in water. Now, I heard
you
of
don't
a
want
contest.
a nice soggy bun?
I heard of a contest on another sports talk show.
Was it a sports talk show? Or was it was a show on sports talk radio?
It was a sports talk show where the producers of the show went to the ballpark and they ate a hot dog and drank a beer every inning.
I've heard they had 9. Yep.
I think I could probably do that.
As long as you're not throwing a no-hitter, I'd be good.
You mean like the game's going really fast? Yeah. If I had to pick a food to eat competitively, I would probably go with chicken wings. Maybe shrimp. I really like shrimp. Dip that.
Would you begin to hate the shrimp? Would you want to do with something that you like? Because then you would begin to hate it.
Yeah.
I've never had shrimp.
I used to love butterscotches. And then
the discs?
The discs. I used to have them at my grandma's house. And then I remember I stole the bag of them, like 100, and I probably ate 50 of them in like 2 days, 3 days. And then I didn't have butterscotches for like 20 years.
Yeah.
I came back to them when I was around 30, and I'd really enjoy them again. But it took a long time before I could enjoy a butterscotch.
When I was about 10 years old, 12 years old, I had a bowl of Raisin Bran, and I thought, what could be better than pouring a box of raisins on top of the raisins that were already in the Raisin Bran?
More.
Made me sick. I have not eaten, I'm 64 years old, I have not eaten a bowl of Raisin Bran in 54 years since then.
Well, I'll tell you the trick.
Made me sick.
The trick is, Shark, if you get a box of raisins and put it on Frosted Flakes, that tastes better.
Maybe.
They're great.
I don't like raisins, and at 10 years old, I don't know where raisins came from. Now I know they're just dried up, shriveled, rotten grapes.
I don't think they're rotten. I think they're just dried.
Yeah.
They're like 60-year-old man raisins. Grapes is what they are.
By the way, I did get a text came in that Schlegel is, quote, at the airport and ready to go.
Okay.
He's ready to roll?
Yeah, he's hot and ready.
Let's do it.
Let's do that. Then we'll talk to Schlegel next. Morning Juice.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Within 15 seconds of logging onto social media, the algorithm has your daughter in its crosshairs. It sends her a steady flow of images telling her she isn't thin enough, pretty enough. They invade her brain, causing body dysmorphia, anxiety, depression, leading to the worst rates of eating disorders, self-harm, and suicide we have ever known. All while she's sitting right next to you on her phone. Congress knows, but it refuses to act. Don't let her suffer the secret pain alone. Use your voice. Demand a plan. Join us at the Center for Countering Digital Hate, protectingkidsonline.org, because it's up to you to protect your children from social media nightmares. Join us for her, for your daughter.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Bobby is known as the General. Tito shops at Dollar General. This is Morning Juice.
It is Morning Juice. It is 7 o'clock. It is also a Tuesday.
The best way to start a morning is with a heavy dose of iron. Gas station ready, always. It is Schleg Day.
All right. Just a little peek behind the curtain here. When Shark got Schlegs on the line, he asked him, he's at the airport right now, asked him when he was boarding, and Shark clearly does not understand that Schlegs has a private plane. The plane leaves when Schlegs wants it to leave. Schlegs, good morning. And you are traveling up this way today. Are you in Jacksonville as we speak?
I'm in Jacksonville Airport as we speak. It has a really efficient TSA pre-check. They got all the new doomajigs where, you grab the bin from the bottom, you put it up, you put your bag in there, you jam it all the way into the next thing, and then it drops it down, puts it on the conveyor belt, goes through. Pretty efficient. Already ate 4 of those egg white bites from Starbucks that I pre-ordered. Used some stars for those. Conserving my money. I'm just looking over here at the airport, and I got somebody's hair that's just staring on the ground at me right now, and somebody left all their Starbucks trash over there on this other bench, so that was nice of them. Yeah, it's great, man. I'm flying back up. Got to connect in Nashville, so whoever's on that Nashville plane to Columbus this morning, I'll be there with you. I'm wearing my cowboy hat, by the way, because we got Buckeye Country Concert Superfest, and so, it's the summer, so you got to wear your summer cowboy hat. And so I'm bringing it back up. And, side nugget, listen, if you need a pair of boots, Schlegs Sporting, all caps, go to Durango Boots. Our girl, Erin DeLong, set it up. So go get your cowboy boots. Let's get out there at Buckeye Country Concert. Have fun.
Sounds amazing. Who we got performing this week, and who we taking, Schlegs?
I don't know. I ain't here for a long time. I'm there for a good time. And I'm just hosting the Buckeye Cruise. That's my package on the Buckeye Cruise is I host country concert, Buckeye Country Concert. So I got 2 nights. I don't know who bought them, but guess what? We're going to have a good time. I love country music.
If
I don't know a lot about Jelly Roll, and his country music, but I think there's somebody else in front of him too.
Oh, he's
and
good.
I'm there for the combo. Yeah, I don't know about that, Bob. I mean, good and I'm a good singer. No, I'm not. I'm terrible, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe he sounds amazing there.
So, Schlegs, we were talking earlier about the hot dog eating contest. Is there a certain food you think you could win a contest of eating most in the fastest amount of time, or just eating the most before collapsing?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, there's two things. One, back when I was heavy Schlegs. Let's not even say heavy Schlegs. Back when I was in high school trying to gain weight, I could eat Taco Bell soft taco, and I didn't like the hard. I love hard taco shells, but I ate the soft tacos because you could buy a 10-pack. Remember this for $10?
Yeah, slide them down your gullet.
And I would put on 3 packets of the hot sauce of theirs, and I would wrap them up super tight. And the less chews, the more you can eat.
Yep.
Proof David Copperfield. I gave that whole daggum thing in 2 minutes. Now, let's talk Columbus, Ohio food. Listen, mac and cheese bites from Roosters. Let's go. I could do it. I don't want any sour cream. I tell them, listen, don't even bring the sour cream out. I'm not even cracking the lid. I know all the people who own these things. I don't want to waste their money on the plastic or even the sour cream because I know that's part of the cost. Save that. You made money on me on this one, but just give me as many mac and cheese as whatever time allotment that you give me. I mean, heck, somebody can flick them into my mouth like a little paper football. You get it in the gullet, field goal.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever eaten so much or so fast that it's actually physically disgusted and made your wife sick?
Made my wife sick. No, I was very conscious of this when we first started dating. I remember our first date. I took her out.
That was 25 years ago.
27, Bob. 27 years ago. I took her out. We went to a movie. I took her out to a restaurant. I ate a salad. I was like, of all the things that are on here, what is the one thing that I know that I can't mess up? And I ate a salad because I just took smaller bites because you got the lettuce and the lettuce can look big and I could literally eat that salad in 5 bites. But I just did that. Yes, I was starving the entire time, but it was all good charges to winning. She went out on the second date. Let's see. I remember one time I used to eat Eggos. We were at a birthday party, my birthday party, by the way, and we're sitting there and we're at a restaurant. I don't know what restaurant. It's probably had something to do with steak. And everybody at the table decided on my birthday that they wanted, and I was probably 17 at the time, that they wanted to just criticize my eating habits. And little did they know, this was an entire game plan. My dad taught me to eat this way. If I want to gain weight, eat as fast as you possibly can with as minimal bites as you possibly can. And it's not about how it looks, it's about how it functions. And I just want calories in, okay? And then my grandma, my mom, and my sister all just decided to start, bashing my eating habits. And I was like, you know what? Bump y'all. Steph, let's go. And I left my own birthday party because they were criticizing my eating habits. So I guess it made them sick. They wanted to make a comment on my birthday, but, whatever. Target to winning.
See, I like that. The reason I asked was, and you brought the Taco Bell tacos up, when you start talking about birthday or your first date with Steph, I did the same thing. I went to Wendy's, got 2 spicy chickens before we went to Champs. So, I would be able to eat a normal proportion of food and not look like an absolute slob. But then you fast forward, I remember, it was probably my junior year, Schlegs. That Taco Bell on South Campus there, it was always a favorite of people maybe sliding through. And Court was living the Meridian. I think I got, I want to say a 6-pack of hard tacos. And I ate them in about probably a minute and change. And Courtney got up and she had to run to the bathroom because she said she started throwing up because she said it was the grossest thing she'd ever seen was me just inhale those things without breathing. And like you said, it was like a 2 or 3 bite situation, just enough to be able to swallow it down your gullet.
It's amazing how it's just I'm starving and just pound that food. I remember I used to do that same thing. Remember Arby's had the 5 for $5?
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's
hey,
a lot of beef, Schlegs.
You just walk in there like, hey, I'll take 2 of those, please. And now what I would do is I would make 3 sandwiches out of the 10, and because I wanted to limit the carbs. I don't know why, but I think I could just eat more of them, and then I would just drown them in Arby's sauce. I miss Arby's sauce. I should just do that for nostalgia purposes. But it was, you know what? It's funny. Like now, you got me thinking about my original OG Taco Bell order. High school, I used to order a 10-pack, a Mexican pizza, and 2 cinnamon sticks or cinnamon twists. Man, those were good.
I don't know how you were ever that big then, Schlegs. That's really amazing following that kind of dietary advice there that you would ever get as big as you got back then. Do you watch football differently, you think, than fans do? I know that I've talked to other people like they like watch for their position. They evaluate their position group differently when watching football. When you're watching a game, do you think you watch it differently than the casual fan?
100%. Yeah. 100%. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, you know, I think a lot of fans will have to go back and they listen to other people on podcasts and try to figure out what they're seeing, and then they just basically regurgitate what they saw, whereas we can just say it in real time how that was a critical mistake. We're looking at the game within the game in the game. You know, that makes sense to you? We're looking at the game
3 games
within the
deep.
game. Yeah, 3 games deep. Like that's hard. It's something that you just do and you have mastered over time of 10,000 hours of just watching film. And I'm 44 and I haven't been in the building to watch film like that. And I could just go back. I swear I could go back and just saturate myself in football for 1 week and I'd be back. I'd be all in. But I just think, like, I watch position groups and like, oh, that was a play. Like, that was a flash. Like, that guy's a dude, or, hey, man, he missed that block. Like, why is that wide open? Like, what is that guy doing? Like, honestly, it wasn't that guy. Like, it wasn't that play call. It was that lack of execution. You know, and honestly, I'm never critical. Bob knows this, because if you played, you're not going to be critical of players, because we were once them, the man in the arena, and there's just so many people that are out there that are critics, and they're soft, and I would love just to go around criticizing their life and their terrible stuff. At least I'm honest with mine. But so I'm not going to necessarily criticize a player, but I will point out, like, they didn't execute on that particular play. That's kind of how you watch it, and you take it with a grain of salt and actually real expectations on what it should look like, but with also knowing what is capable. You know, I mean, the run that we ran on in the playoffs, and this is the beauty of even last year when everybody was just enamored about Ryan and all these different things, the lack of just seeing where the team could be. And I go back even as a coach, and you're like, man, could we have done something different? Like you look at the offseason, you look at spring, you look at the summer, like, is there something they could have done different that could have allowed that team to gel and click faster than it did? And the answer, honestly, is no. Like, every team's uniquely different, and at whatever that moment is where it just comes out, and we saw, you know, the full totality of what that team could look like in the playoffs. Like, man, where was that all year? It's just different, you know? It's just different. Every team is different that way. So you stick with it. You're just like, I'm a fan in the sense that I am for them, not looking at things to be against them. Like, my glass is always 9/10 full. Maybe my cup is like 99 out of 100% full. I don't know. I'm always just backing my team. Maybe that's the difference. I'm like the Duke, you know, just a supporter.
When you're watching the game, is your position, the way your position is played, is the game changed to where it changes how you would play the position, or is it still just the same thing? See ball, you know, see guy, hit guy, whatever. Is the game that much different, you think, for a linebacker?
Well, that's a great question, Tio. Honestly, I'm happy that you asked that question. The answer is, the game was changing when we were in school, and saw Bobby, really athletic guy, could play the edge, could play, you know, in the box, like Sam under front, go rushing on a 5 technique, like that kind of athletic outside backer DN type. I was probably like a decade removed. Like, I should have been like in the 90s. Because now you start adding bigger, faster tight ends, meat chodes like myself, like covering that guy. there's phenomenal ones, right? Like Zach Thomas, a guy could do it forever. The game is still gap control, pace space angles. What are they trying to do? Anticipation, trust your eyes and your study. Like that never changes. I think the thing that has changed is that coaches have gotten better at adjusting to their personnel versus the scheme only. And that's what I think is a little different. So many times now, the really good teams, they draft the quality of player that kind of fits what it is that they do with their current guys. Like you look at the Rams and how they've been able to win the draft for a long time. They look at those guys that can come in and add a tremendous amount of value, and then they'll go take chances in the later rounds on some people, but their core nucleus of guys are guys that they want to build their foundation around, that they know this is the exact fit that they're going to have. But they also don't just say, okay, well, this is what we think you can do, and we're going to make you do that. I think they do a better job of adjusting now to the talent that they have. Because you also got to remember, the people that are making the decisions of hiring and acquiring your talent aren't the people that are coaching your talent. Like that's the hardest thing that you got. And then even at Ohio State, like that's the hardest thing in college football. It's why you have a Matt Patricia. You're going out there just trying to find the dudes, you know, and then how can you make them be successful? And again, I'm a champion for C.J. Hicks. I hope he has an outstanding season playing outside backer, like, you know, but then you also have Ardell, and what can that do? And Sonny's in there, and then Peyton Pierce, who's more of like a James Laurinaitis-esque linebacker, like same build, same everything. Really fun to watch. And that's how we evaluate the position. When I'm looking at linebacker play, I'm looking at first step read. Is the guy hopping? Where is his eye control? What is the offense, you know, doing? Hell, I'm still looking at trying to call plays, whether it's run or pass, based on the depth of the running back and the splits of the lineman. It's best I can see him on TV, or even the depth of a tackle. You know, where is that depth? Like you're just trying to find it. Okay, they're budging you to expand you. All right, they're spreading you in. Where's the motion? All right, I got 4 first crosser. Where's that back located? Like I'm watching stuff like that. Down in distance, where are they trying to run? They're running a bunch of stick routes. When can this guy jump that? Where's the safety help? I'm literally watching all that stuff in the game. You know, shoot the first. No, was it the first Oregon game? No, I don't remember. The Michigan game. We thought Bob and I went on depth of like 1 yard is magnified. It's 2 yards, and we talked about all the hidden yards that were just lost in that game, you know, and the effects of that. I was even watching. I remember looking back at the Rose Bowl versus Oregon, and there was a punt that could have been down, and it was somebody that left in the portal. I'm like, man, I wish the other guy had all those reps. Like that's the stuff that we think about, talk about, and look and evaluate when we're there. That's why it's hard for me to go to games. I like watching them on TV. Plus, I don't also like hearing unintellectual people talk about guys that I care about too. Like that's the worst part. That's the worst part. That's why probably like Bob likes to go on the sideline.
Buckeye, Schlegel, are you going to be in town for heading over to Trust's deal tonight?
That's why I'm flying in today. If not, I probably wasn't going to come. Yeah, I'm flying in for that. I have no clue. I just asked him, like, what's the appropriate attire?
Business casual.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so there's a pair of like shorts and a golf polo count, because that's all I got, and that's what I'm wearing. So to winning. I will say this: yesterday, hey, shout out to the Feta family. You remember Craig Feta?
Yeah.
Craig, you better pass his second board test, okay? You've been trying to be a doctor for like a decade. Anyways, his sister Maria, she's a doctor. Their dad, he's an orthopedic surgeon. So I go fishing. Intercoastal, it was super fun. Kyle Feta, he's an officer down here with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. I was like, dude, I'm leaving, man. Like, he's building a house, or, you know, redoing a house. I'm like, you got time to go fishing with me and Hunter? Let's go. We went out there, fished, no shirt on the entire time. I'm super tan. I'll tell you this.
Super tan.
Tan fat looks way better than pale fat. I'm just saying. I mean, like, I'm not, like, all about it, you know, like my body right now, but I look way better when I'm tan. And my hair, I think, looks thicker.
My hair looks thicker when I'm tan.
Yeah.
If you could draw that correlation.
I think it's because of the scalp. I think it's because of the scalp. My scalp is tan. Therefore, it looks, because I have dark hair, therefore it looks like it's just, plus I've been, the Nutrafol and the Spartan shampoo, I think, is really doing its magic 2.5 months in.
You feel good about? They say it takes 3 months for you to notice the difference. I feel like, are we turning the corner? You think?
Oh, I'm turning the corner. I'm looking in there, man. I'm seeing little hairs come up there. I'm like, dude, look at that growth right there, man. So I'm just gonna keep it going. I need to go see my guy Ron and like give me like a fade on the side and just keep it long, keep it sassy out there. Just let those guys just grow.
So you guys got this Tress event coming up. Is there a former player either one of you would be shocked to see at this event? Like somebody who's like, I have no idea how that guy got invited, or I have no idea how that guy would show up.
That have passed away, so they would probably
That would be
qualify.
surprising. You had a couple of teammates pass away?
Yeah, there's 4 guys from the O2 team that have passed
away. 4
away.
passed away?
Yeah. One of their sons plays on the team that off.
Okay, I didn't know that 4 seems like a big number from the O2 team to pass away. Now it turned dark. Okay, Schlegs, let's take it back lighter now. Who would you be surprised, other than people that are dead, who would you be surprised to see?
I don't know. I mean, I'm
surprised he's going to be there.
I'd be happy to see him. Exactly. Listen, man, I got this doomaging. First of all, I got a call from the lieutenant governor. Then I got an invite from a bunch of people, but I still haven't got like the invite. So I don't know if they're like, I don't know if we really want that guy. So I was like, hey, listen, just text me the invite. I kind of know what it's going to be about, and I'm all about it. So, so guess what? When the lieutenant governor says, hey, let's come to this party, I'm like, P-R-T-Y, because I gotta. I'll be there. So now I'm flying up, and it messes up the Bobby Carpenter show, which I did tell my guy multiple days in advance that I was flying in. And this was the only one I could get in. That is false. That is
it's a different narrative. Different narrative on the slide, Schlegs. I'm telling you, I've heard something completely different than what you just said.
That is false, man. That is a falsehood. I know my life is absolutely crazy, but
it's your last week of craziness, though, Schlegs. It's the last. This will be your last flight to Columbus from Jacksonville. You'll have the return leg, and as you return back, you'll be in a car, a steel horse, the Iron Horse, if you will.
You know what? I tell you this, man. These pods, guys. I am a fan. I am a fan of them. Listen now. I don't know how I got all this stuff in there. My wife's like, you ain't getting all this stuff in there. I was like, watch me. And I did. I mean, I'm in there playing Tetris. I got all the patio furniture. Now, I took some of it apart. I got a Papa Shot in there. I got what I get? I got 3 bedrooms. I got all my kids' bedrooms except for their beds. I'm like, guess what, guys? You're on the floor, man. Started to win. I need those mattresses in the thing so I can like stack up the rest of our furniture in there. But like you get the pillows and stuff and you wedge them in there to kind of, protect it. And you got your moving blankets and stuff. I mean, I got it in there, man. They did a good job packing the boxes. The problem is, they don't necessarily pack the boxes appropriately. I'm like, well, why did you put all this stuff in this box? And again, you can't tell somebody like they did something wrong. I just was like, I'm processing this as I'm like packing, like, why didn't we just use all the same boxes for all these things, right? Why did we like skip around? Like, why did we, because I'm like, they have different heights because I bought this huge moving pallet from Uline. I'm like, why did we not use all the same ones and the same thing and then go to the smaller ones or, like keep them kind of feng shui as to what was what, then I could stack them better. Because then I got different heights and I'm trying to get things level so I can stack. Like shots with stack. In that pod, yeah, that's what I was doing. It was great. I ratchet strap stuff down against each other. That thing ain't moving, man. That thing ain't moving. I was impressed with it. I got a desk in there. I didn't know I was going to get in there, but I did it.
Schlegs, safe travels. Maybe Witch in studio next week for Shark's last day.
No, his last day
2 weeks.
is
it's
July,
2 weeks. Sure,
July
right. I'm sorry. Yeah, July 1st. Maybe you'll be in town.
I'll be in town. You know what I would like to do? I would like to go to a baseball game with Shark and just let him tell me about the Indians. They're not the Guardians, the Indians.
Yes.
They're bringing that mascot back too, Shark, by the way. I would love to go watch a baseball game with you some point. That'd be amazing.
We call him Chief Wahoo. He's dead now.
He was also on the O2 championship team.
That's so terrible. I love you guys. So much this answer.
Thanks, Schlegs. Have a great day, bub. We'll talk to you next week.
See you guys.
All right.
Talk it down. Bye.
All right, coming up. That's always. What I love about that is I never know where the hell it's going to go with Schlegs.
Oh, it's a meandering road, to say the least.
All right, I teased it back at 6 o'clock, I think it was, or whatever. So we're going to do it. There's 6:20. We're going to do it this time, though. We'll talk about the transfer portal. That's next. Morning Juice.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I. And then we.
Brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together.
Established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
We ask parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad, and I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate to the V Foundation to join our team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
100% of donations fund game-changing cancer research. Donate now to the V Foundation at v.org.
Bobby knows what it's like to be a winner. Tito knows what it's like to be thrown out of an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You're here for an hour.
This is Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. Thank you to Anthony Schlegel for joining us like he does every week. Always love talking to him. Remember the old format, we play him twice.
Yeah, he's the guest so nice we play him twice.
That's right. Excited to move back into town here. That's kind of cool also. So, Bobby, you and I, a while back, had Ross Bjork on.
Yeah.
And this was, I believe, after the national championship and everything. And he was talking about the college football stuff and some of the changes he thought needed to be made. I remember talking about having like the Power Four having a disciplinary committee above them.
Yeah.
Led by
more autonomy.
Yes, there we go. Autonomy. That's the word. I never use that word, and I should use. That's a good word to use.
Yeah, it's like independent understanding,
Yes.
ability to self-govern, autonomy.
So-
autonomous, like an autonomous driving car at that off.
A governing car?
Autonomous driving, not governing.
But one of the things he mentioned to us, Bobby, though, was the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
And how he didn't like the fact that, Ohio State at a disadvantage, I guess, the way the calendar was set up if you play that late into the season or play into January at all. Because you could end up losing guys like Penn State did before the playoffs. Before a playoff game, they lost their backup quarterback to the portal.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have other guys and like some players who want to transfer later can't, and sometimes
Bo Pabula would be his name.
Okay, there you go. It's a good pull by you.
No. Make good comments.
You do. You make a lot of good comments, George. But I think that, and he talked about it was disadvantageous to like him into Notre Dame. What, did I say it wrong?
Disadvantageous.
I can't say disadvantageous. I think that's a word. Come on, disadvantageous.
Maybe it is. Not.
If it could be a disadvantage.
Not
we put a
unadvantageous. Maybe you're right, Tito.
You know what? Billy Hamilton had 7 stolen bases game in 1894 for Philadelphia. So I think disadvantageous is fine.
What was your GPA in high school?
You want me to say it out loud?
Like, I'm going to guess.
I think it's just disadvantage.
Whatever it is you guys say, it'll be under. I think it's disadvantageous as a word.
Well, I'm going to say 2.5.
I would say lower.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Listen, okay.
2.2?
Listen, Shark. I am a very smart person, but I didn't always want to go to school. I didn't like to study for tests. All right? I was on the verge of not making it out.
Okay.
But my English teacher, who loved me, R.I.P. to her, by the way, loved me, didn't want to see me have to go through that. And so for extra credit, hers was the one class I needed. I cleaned her office.
That got you.
You were a writer.
That got you a diploma.
That and that's what it was. So.
I'm the same way. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I'm smart enough to be a good student, but I was not a good student. I didn't study. I hated school.
Yeah.
I liked college a lot better than high school.
Right.
But yeah, I wasn't a good student.
All right. Did we get a?
It is. Jury says you're correct.
Okay, disadvantageous. Thank you. Now, that made my day.
That's good. I'm glad. Well, that's your one win for today. Congratulations.
That's my first win of the day. So, see, that's right there. Me making you smarter. I was going to play that. I did that on purpose to make you guys smarter because now Bobby usually makes me smarter. I made both of you smarter just now. That was intentional, Shark. Anyway, so the transfer portal, though, getting back to that. They're gearing up towards it's heading towards instead of the multiple transfer portals that open up once in the winter, once in the spring.
You're going to a single portal situation?
I think they're going to a single portal situation now
Schlegel
in the spring.
Loved that. You should have talked to him about it.
That would not have been advantageous. But but it feels like, Bobby, this is something that Bjork told us needs to happen.
Yes, I think a lot of people are of the belief. You have people that transfer twice before, like after a season and before next. Like,
right.
You would transfer in the winter, go somewhere in the spring, not like it, and then transfer again.
Yes.
Without playing a single game.
Yes. And that's the part that's there's things, Bobby, you look at in sports history that, years later you can think, I don't understand why in the hell anybody thought that. And we've made the joke before about the fact that the Braves were in the Western Division, NL West, and
that was due to the fact that when people were added and just the geography
but just look at it,
the
though,
South
it's
and West wasn't near as developed as it is now.
Well, no, but even then
those are the reasons.
You had St. Louis and the Cubs, both in the NL East, Reds in the NL West.
Because of the history of those teams playing each other, maybe. I don't know.
You look at things in sports, I can't believe they did these kinds of things. And because of how big of a disadvantage this is for teams playing in January.
How disadvantageous it was for them.
I'm not going to throw around big words that you guys don't understand. That's not my style. But I'm just saying, though, Bobby, I think that's they'll make this change, but then years from now, I'll think, what the hell were they thinking before this? Why would they let people transfer while their teams are still playing in playoff games? It just seems like this is such a no-brainer to me.
It does. If it doesn't make sense, then it's not supposed to. And I don't think anybody thought that through. And Charlie Baker stood up there, the president of the NCAA, when they announced the House settlement, saying, we got in this situation because of a lot of people's neglect to deal with issues over the last 20 years. So we're doing the best we can with it right now, trying to clean it up. And if they would have slowly implemented things and figured out a pathway and a plan and done specific things at different times, then you wouldn't have gotten all these unintended consequences that we're living with right now.
Yeah, I think it has to change. You can't, and it's got to change now. This is one of those things that just because, it does get to a situation.
I think Van Halen had a song about that.
Right now?
Yeah.
There's no tomorrow right now.
Mm-hmm. You're everything.
You're everything, yes.
That transfer portal.
Yeah, it's...
slide on in. It's like a warm bath off.
What's that?
The transfer portal.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wanted to get in there. It's so great, I heard. A lot of fun.
Well, you had the kid from South Carolina, the quarterback, who was offered, according to his father, $8 million to transfer to another school. He chose to
surprise me. I mean, that's what the rumor was that Carson Beck, and I would rather have Lenora Sellers than Carson Beck.
Really?
Yeah, Carson Beck's coming off a torn UCL, and I didn't think he was that great to begin with.
Okay, I guess, yeah, you're right. Coming off the injury is a bigger deal. But I'm saying out of the two quarterbacks, so you like...
I like Sellers after what I saw from him last year.
You like Sellers
over
Beck,
Beck? If one of those guys $8 million, I'd be paying it to him.
So it's amazing to me like that he stuck around. Was there a dollar figure they could have thrown at you that would encourage you to transfer when you were playing?
$50.
No, that's you don't say. Tressel's not listening. John doesn't listen to this show, but
thanks, Ice.
Yeah, right, $50. Are you gonna bring it up tonight? By the way,
I brought it up with Rothman the other day because we were talking about Tress. I was like, "Oh, you mean when he was on with you and Ice, aka Jeff Thidoff?"
Yeah.
What the amount for me to transfer?
Make it look.
I don't know.
I don't mean this to. I'm not trying to put you in a box on this one, but because I know you're.
No one puts baby in a corner.
No one puts baby in a corner. God, I had that sound in the other studio. I'd play it right now if I could. Jerry
walk
Orbach.
on over there and hit it.
I should go over there. Just call him on the phone over there, Shark.
What's he up to?
Who? Oh, Jerry Orbach. He's hanging out with the Queen. I think he's having tea with the Queen. That's what he's doing. Also very underrated in Beauty and the Beast.
What's he in Beauty and the Beast?
He was Lumiere. He was the candle.
Oh, yeah.
That's his voice.
That's right. That's right.
He was also a lawyer, a defense lawyer in Law and Order before he became
cop.
Yeah, he was like played a different character. He was a defense lawyer. Anyway, where am I going with this?
He became Lenny Briscoe?
Yes, before he became Lenny Briscoe. What I'm saying though, Bobby, is that because I know that you're big on loyalty. You've said before if there's unlimited transfers, you wouldn't have transferred. You would stayed at Ohio State. I know there's.
It's easy for me to say that.
I know.
Here,
that's what I'm trying to figure out though. But like, is there if somebody comes at you?
I actually made some.
Don't say some money because we're not going to vacate anything.
No,
okay.
You can't. There's no vacations now. I actually did have some correspondence with another school like my senior year about potentially transferring. Yeah.
Do you want to tell us what? Do you want to tell school? Tell school. Come on.
I mean,
you were willing to sit out a year, or did you graduate early?
Wow! Tell us the school. Let's hear it.
It's fine. I mean, I would probably joke. All the parties involved know each other, which is what the irony is. I was very disenchanted, if you will.
Was it disadvantageous to you?
No, just with some of the things that went on here.
Namely the offense?
Well, no. I mean, my senior year, the offense was better. It was, I did not, speaking of people that are visiting the Queen, I did not get along with Steve Snapp very well.
Okay.
And he was
also with the Queen, right?
Who
did?
Yes. Okay. That's my point. He was kind of a jerk. Okay. And with the retirement of Jerry Emig, I always say, you have a hard job and you do it pretty well. It's tough to be liked by everyone. Now, it's much
Tell me about it.
It's much harder to do that job, be the SID for Urban than it was for Tress. But Jerry, they didn't let me talk to the media. I mean, you talk to Tim and Dom and all these guys, like how it went down my senior year and some different things. And I was very frustrated with stuff. And I remember, and Tress, God bless him, he did everything he could.
Did he know you were talking to a school?
No. I don't know if I've told him.
I am genuinely excited and scared that we're doing this.
It's fine. So I had to talk to one of his, I can't think of the guy's name. He's probably passed. It was a coach. He actually coached at Michigan. It was a former coach with him. I'll have to ask him what his name was again. But he made me read Sacred Hoops, and I used to have to call this guy, and we would have conversations, like counseling sessions, like once a week at 5 o'clock in the summer and talk. And AJ's like, what are you doing? I was like, I got to call Coach such and such and talk. He's like, because you're crazy. And I'm like, that's why Tress is making you do this.
Right.
And there was just some other stuff that had happened. And then they were moving me to become, do some edge rush stuff on third down, which I really wasn't that thrilled about, but it was going to be a chance to get Schlegel on the field a little more and end up being advantageous for me in the long term. But it was just learning something new and different things. And I had reached out at some point in the spring, like winter, maybe before spring ball, during, I don't know. I just remember.
You initiated or somebody else initiated?
No, I initiated
okay.
it. Oh my God, I can't believe we're doing this. In my house on King, when I lived with Zwick and Kudla and those guys and Doug, sitting there and writing an email to Mark Staten, who was the recruiting coordinator at Cincinnati, because that's where D'Antonio was, and my brother was down there. And I was thinking, like, you know what, if I'm going to go somewhere and sit out, I would like to go somewhere and sit out where my brother is and playing for D'Antonio and finish up another year, and like that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So I had a couple conversations. I asked, like, to him, like, hey, would you guys accept? You guys accept like senior transfers?
Uh-huh.
I just remember the reason I thought about that is because that was one of the conversations in Rudy, how Notre Dame didn't take senior transfers. Right. So he had to get in before that. And he's like, yeah, I think we could work that out for the right person. Like, all right. And so there was maybe one or two other emails. And I was like, hey, you know, I think I'm good. It was over like 2 weeks. It was me. This is why I tell people the transfer portal is not a good thing for people who are young and overly emotional. Like, I would have walked off one of the times that Fick kicked me out of practice and said, screw you, and just went and just like at a bank teller and just hopped into that portal and been shot away to who knows wherever.
Okay, give me that first email goes out.
Yeah.
They have interest. Now, I know you said it was a couple-week process there. But, like, right at that
it's
point.
It's a couple emos probably over 10 days.
What did you think at that moment if I would have said, Bobby, what are the chances you're leaving Ohio State?
If I would have been able to leave that day, I would have got in there and said, transfer button, bam, and hammered it.
I cannot believe.
I'm just telling you. That's why I tell people, this would not have been a good thing for me.
I understand.
You got to protect people from themselves sometimes.
How has this remained a secret? Have you heard anything about anything
no.
ever? Okay.
I don't know if it ever even
this was before NIL.
Yeah, I was transferring just because I had a bad day. And I was angry. AJ used to call me Bipolar Bob. We can get into that on Friday. That's what I said. The transfer portal would not have been a good situation for me.
Okay, you've worked with Rothman.
Yeah.
Reporter.
Yeah.
Okay. Bishop.
Reporter.
Bo Bishop.
Yeah.
Reporter.
Classically trained journalist.
Very close to Brandon Beam.
Yeah.
And I just got this breaking news.
I don't listen.
I am shocked, Bobby. I'm telling you, I'm first of all, I'm happy with myself, but I am shocked. One that you.
I think I had mentioned this before with Beam about how I'd almost transferred.
On the air. You did.
I don't know if I went into all the details like that.
That's amazing to me,
well,
Bobby.
The irony is the parties involved, like Mark and Dino, are very close, or Mark and Tress are very close. You know, and Dino's close. Like that whole group, they coach together and they know each other well. Dino and Tress play golf together. Like, they're really tight. And I don't know if it ever got to D'Antonio or not.
Do you think Tress knows about this at all or not?
I don't know if I ever told him about this or not.
But do you think somebody may have talked to there, may have told somebody to tell, like, Tress has never brought it up to you. You're going to see Tress tonight. And that's why I felt weird about bringing this up, because
I don't care. What's he going to say?
He might suspend you. No. I don't know what he's going to do.
I was as big a headache as I possibly could have been. Nothing, no new information. And there's a chance that they may have told him that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I brought that up to him one time. I don't know. I was like, because he always jokes. He's like, yeah, the transfer portal, like, this stuff's crazy. I'm like, it's not good. And I start talking about me and some of my shortcomings and the things that just how I wanted to operate and everything. Like, I was highly volatile and emotional. Like, that's like most people that are that age are.
Right.
Your brain isn't fully developed.
It never got as far as you talking to D'Antonio.
I don't remember. Mark Staten may have talked to D'Antonio about it, and like, hey, he said.
Would he have accepted you with open arms, or would he not have wanted to do that to Tress?
Well, I mean, I think he would have been fine. I think he would have let it happen. Like, I would have had to go tell Tress about it. My brother was down there, like, and he recruited me. Like, that's the same thing you're talking about. I would have had to sit out a year.
Yeah.
And I was fully. It's like, if I'm going to sit out, I'd rather do it with people that I know, and my brother being there, and my family could see
Did
us
you
all.
discuss it with your dad?
I don't think I ever talked to maybe, but I don't think he thought I was ever serious. I talked to him like every day. I wanted to transfer my freshman year, and he was like, "It's hard everywhere. Don't think that it's going to be any easier." Which is what I tell these guys. It's the greener grass syndrome is what people get, where they think it's always better somewhere else. And the reality is, I go help recruiting and meet with these students at the business school, about the business school, and it's hard. I mean, it's the top 25 public business school in the country. And one of the parents asked a great question. They go, we've gone a lot of places, and some of the times when we talk to players, like, yeah, they'll tell you can do it, but you can't functionally do this major and still be in it, play football. And I remember Nick was Mangold was an architecture major, and he did that for a quarter, and he goes, I can't do this. He's like, these people stay up all night building these models. Maybe he did it for 2 semesters or 2 quarters. He's like, I can't. I could if I didn't want to do anything else outside of football and in school, which was not the case. But I tell him, and you go, you know what? I had a conversation with J.K. Dobbins about him dropping out of the business school, and I was like, man, it goes back to the Woody Hayes thing. Like, anything easy in life ain't worth a damn. I'm like, it's valuable because it's hard.
Right.
Coming to Ohio State and playing football here is valuable to you because it's hard, but that's why you're going to be developed. That's why you're going to get better. And so I told him, I go, yeah, you can be the business school. I was in there. A lot of people are. Like, Cody Simon just went through and did a great job. He's a smart guy. He works hard.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to just be lazy, then that's true. But if you want to be lazy in the weight room, you're not going to be a very good player either. If you're going to be lazy on the practice field, you're not going to be a very good player. So anything that matters to you in life probably came at some sort of cost. And there was some form of sacrifice, because sacrifice is defined as giving up something you love for something you love even more. So you're going to be giving up some of your discretionary free time and laziness to be able to go do this, because you're going to have to study and do other things.
It's interesting to me, Bobby, because hearing you say this, I know we get to a break. We got to do that's what he said in just a minute anyway. But I know that hearing you say this, though, gives me a different perspective I haven't thought about with the transfer rules now. Because, like, for me on the outside, I've never had to worry about something like that. I think, oh, yeah, it's great. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. But hearing you say it, it would have been a detriment to you. It sounds like to me. It would have been, if you could have transferred that easily, it would have been bad for you life-wise than doing what you did.
So I've never done drugs, but I don't also leave them lying around my house. So, like, part of the ability is the impediment of getting them.
Right.
So, like, if I could just press the transfer button in college, I may have done that at halftime of a game.
All right. Here we go. Listen, it is that time. That's what he said. I've got a good one, Bobby.
What it is. You got the question?
I've got the question.
All right, well, it's Appetizer Tuesday. The featured appetizer is Rooster's Onion Feathers. They're delicious. They're tasty. Onion petals, fried golden brown, served with a side of plucking sauce. They're delicious. They're $3 all day long. And now, if you call us 614-821-1460, you're getting a chance to win a $50 Roosters gift card. How great does that sound if you can answer the question by Mr. Jeffrey Thidoff?
What did Schlegel order on his first date with his wife 27 years ago? What food did he order? We will do that coming next. 614-821-1460. We'll also tell you what's got us juiced. Next, Morning Juice.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Bobby Carpenter, husband, father, Buckeye. Jeff Thidoff, husband, father, idiot. This is Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. Final segment of the program. Shark took the call.
It's Tuesday.
It's Doc from Dublin.
Yeah. Knew that Schleg's had a salad.
Schleg's had a
Keeping
salad.
it classy for Steph on the first date.
And that's a guy you and I both know, Doc.
Yeah.
We've had, he's a huge, huge Blue Jackets fan, by the way. I know that as well. I know that because when I would see him, he would talk a lot about the Jackets.
He's actually injected me before.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Where?
In the buttocks?
In the arm.
Okay. Oh. Can they do that? Can pharmacists do that now? Like if you're going there for something, can they inject you in the butt or not?
I don't know. Well, if you've never asked.
I know. I'm telling you, you said, well, Shark and I both said where because we weren't sure. I don't know. I didn't know.
Were you at the little clinic?
I was actually in the studio.
Oh, that's right. I remember. Yes, I remember that whole thing. Yes, we did that with him. Not we, the fan did.
Yeah.
He came in. Was it the flu shot? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
He came in and did it. That's right. Doc did a great thing with that.
Did a good job.
All right. Let's now let's talk about Bobby getting injections.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right. What day is it?
It is Tuesday. That means Shark. What Schleg's got to say?
The biggest thing that we have to do is you can't have self-inflicted wounds, a.k.a.
Is that like a womb that you bear a child in or a wound that you get injured in?
Wound.
I think that was a soft D on the first one.
Yeah, well, I mean...
You don't want a soft D,
No,
Shark.
I'm just kidding. Nobody wants a soft D.
You heard it. It's not
It
even
was
that was
definitely
womb.
weird. Here, let's listen to it again. Listen for his word that starts with a W.
The biggest thing that we have to do is you can't have self-inflicted wounds.
I mean, there's, without a doubt, that is womb. Just like when he said Larry Combs and not Carrie
instead of
Combs.
Carrie.
You can't have a self-injected womb.
Well,
I think it's got to be.
maybe you could.
A self-injected. You're telling me you. I think that you have to be injected by a professional or by.
You could probably do that yourself.
I don't think there's DIY self-injecting wombs thing.
In vitro.
I think you got to have somebody else with you in the room, don't you?
No, you get the turkey.
Yes.
The turkey baster out.
You got to have somebody else with you.
No, you get the baster out. You're good.
Tito, there are some things you can do by yourself.
I understand. That's not one of them.
All right. 12 countries are going to compete in hockey. We call it ice hockey. At the Winter Olympics. You know, the Winter Olympics are like 8 months away. You know where they are?
They're in Turin.
Nope.
They're in.
You got the right country, though.
They're in Italy.
Yeah.
There, I got it.
Cortina, I believe. Cortina,
I think
Italy.
it's Turin.
No, that was where the last Italian Olympics were.
Okay.
Anyway, there are going to be 12 teams, 12 countries competing in ice hockey. And yesterday, those 12 countries named the first 6 players to their preliminary rosters. The remainder of the rosters will be announced later this year. It's the first time that NHL players are going to play at the Olympics since 2014. Just one Blue Jacket player was among the 72 named yesterday.
Seth.
I thought it. Seth isn't a Blue Jacket.
Not Seth, I mean Zach.
Zach.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought he'd be a shoo-in, and he probably will be on
So
TV
who
USA.
is it?
But Elvis playing for Latvia.
I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm. And then there are some former
If
Blue
Zach
Jackets.
doesn't make that team,
Zach's going to make.
He's got to make the team. Yeah, he's got to make
if
it.
he wants to play,
Right,
maybe he
yeah.
doesn't want to play.
Right.
But
What? Who is he?
Well,
off?
yeah,
listen.
it's very selfish to go to the
I'm not-
Olympics and try to win a gold medal for your country.
We're not doing the 752. We're not doing it. We don't have time.
Selfish. Anyway, former Blue Jackets who will be in Cortina include Oliver Bjorkstrand for Denmark and Alexander Texier for France. So good for them. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it a day there since we're running a little late. I was going to talk about Shohei's arm not falling off like Tito had predicted, but let's move on. Bob, what has you juiced?
Well, it's a little bit longer, but it's a phenomenal speech. I know you did some time editing. A friend of mine, the head coach for the Detroit Lions and one of the great motivators and toughest dudes you'll ever be around, Dan Campbell.
There's a number of teams, they just barely get to the water. You got to get in the water to compete. A number of teams, that's all they get to. Then there's a number of teams, they are in the shallows. And they come in a hurry, man, and they are all over your ass. They're all over your ass, and they strike and move. They strike and move, and they're dangerous, man. You just got to get a hold of them, though. If you can just get a hold of them, and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them. And that's what we got to be. That's who we have to be. Because that's our domain. That is our domain. Because we'll tread water as long as it takes to bury you. We'll go as long as it takes because we can and we choose to. That's who we are. That's who we have to be. Now, it goes without saying, the teams that are dangerous in the shallows and the abyss are probably the top 4 or 5 in this league. That's who they are. And that's what we're working to. The last thing I'm going to say is this. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. There is no light. There's a song Metallica has, No Leaf Clover, and it says, man, when it comes to the soothing light at the end of your tunnel, it's just a freight train coming your way. Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man.
I wish the background music would have been Shallows by Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
That would have been tremendous. That was good, though. It had me juiced because that's the deal with life, man. Get him out there. And Parcells used to talk about that all the time. Drag him to the deep end of the pool. He's like, we'll see who can swim out there. And it just means just keep pushing and keep grinding and be tougher than everybody else.
And don't transfer when things get tough.
Don't transfer when things get... Listen, if you give people the easy way out, I tell my kids that all the time. As you talked it off about how I'm probably a bad dad.
Well, I never said you were a bad dad.
Just easy. The fact that my job is to make sure that you make the right decision, not the easy decision. Right. And so that's what it's about, because human beings by nature will generally, if left to their own devices, choose the path of least resistance. And sometimes that's fine, but a lot of times it's not the place you want to go. You want to build on the rock, not on the sand, and make sure that might be a little harder, but it's a much firmer foundation. Thitoff, what has you juiced, sir?
Well, the fact that it's 7:52 end of the show is when Shark throws a little shade at me. I can't defend myself about the Olympics thing and about Ohtani's arm. But I will tell you, Doc texted me back, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Arm or thigh is, I guess, where he can inject something.
Okay.
If he needed to. I didn't know if you could go down there and drop all the way down to your ankles and take something in that area. I wasn't sure on that one. When was the last time you had a shot in your butt?
Sounds more like a... I administer my own stuff, so I would give myself a shot in the rear end, high hip area.
I can't think of the last time I had a shot in the butt. Do you remember, Shark?
I think I was probably a kid. I don't remember.
The situation you were describing earlier, though, sounded like something they described in Shawshank.
Thank you, everyone in the chat.
That one-bedroom Hilton.
Zoo Reviews, by the way, just quickly said something about the fact that sports sometimes, when I said, what don't you like about the show? He said, no, I like it. It's just always a turkey baster segment when my wife happens to walk by. So the fact that she doesn't let you hear that. But yes, we are Morning Juice. I appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you so much. We're back tomorrow. Morning Juice.
I'm a wife and the mother of 2 kids, and I've got a good job.
Bye, Mom. See you, Mom.
A pretty important job. Because of my family and my job, I really care about this neighborhood. It's a good neighborhood. Yes, there's some crime. And when I drive to work, like now, I realize that some people here don't trust the police. So the police should be reaching out to this community, and this community should reach out to the police. That's the way to make this a safer place. And when I get to work in the precinct house and put on my uniform, I can tell you as a police officer that this department is reaching out to the community, and the community is doing its part. We're building partnerships. This should be happening everywhere. This is how we can all be safer. Get involved. Start the conversation.
Start the conversation and help stop crime. To learn the 5 things you can do, go to ncpc.org/prevent violent crime. A message from the National Crime Prevention Council and the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit NHT.